table full of melanite. Crystal body gon' shine, I don't need the ice. It's real talk. Yeah. Speaking on the times, cause my people need to see. Third eye blind, no, they lying through their teeth. They tryna loot the time, tryna keep us in a sleep. But you know we gotta rise like the steam in the heat. Quantum physics to a beat, how time zones lead. It matter just the data that your brain gon' see. Alchemy, your master, all that photon light. Avatar, the body, just the temple, do you see? The deity surround me, I feel the peace. Breathe deep, I push cheese like Bruce Lee. Yo, it's Dragon Ball Z, I Super Saiyan 3. And we finna walk 'em down, any town, any street. New world on horizon, I can see the silver lining. Cause the sun gon' shine, then we all keep shining. Mighty lion can heal the pain, you know his name. But they stand on the same old thing. They playing, well let's talk about it. Round table full of melanite. Crystal body gon' shine, I don't need the ice. D and me, you gon' see it's rise. My people so divine, know it's our time. Let's talk about it.
Let's have the conversation.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Let's have the conversation.
I don't wanna hear that he say, that she say. You're listening to parasites on replay. They tap into my phone to listen like we on three-way. It's tap into your aura, feel the energy like heat waves. Let's talk about it. Who you praying to? When it starts to lose your mind, who is saving you? If you're moving through the time, what's the energy that's moving you? I wanna have the conversation. We always dropping gems back and forth like great debating. We making our own way, our own land, our own pavement. Just looking at the spaceship. I like to wake up with the sun. Say my daily mantra, speaking cryptic, speaking tongues. Tell them what I'm after, we're the one and get it done. I feel my enemies around me. 7 deadly sins, they tryna trap and keep me bounded. I'm not staying around, I get my people, then I'm outie. Yeah.
Round table full of melanite. Crystal body gon' shine, I don't need the ice. D and me, you gon'
Greetings.
What's up?
Welcome to welcome everybody to another episode of Let's Have a Conversation. Look at this paneling. Y'all paneling. I see y'all. I see you. Well, we have I know. We was gonna say we're missing Miss Aubrey tonight, but she will be back with us next week. We love you, Miss Aubrey.
He's in the chat and with the committee down there.
Okay, cool. Hi, Aubrey. Tonight we have a special host, Miss Keshay.
What's up, y'all?
How you doing?
I'm great. How y'all doing?
Good.
That's what's up, y'all.
Good. Yes, it's good. I'm glad to see Miss Quartita this evening for sure. Her beautiful face.
Well, I tapped out for a minute. I'm getting ready to make me some soup and some tea. So I just wanted to get the show started, and then I'm gonna tap out for a second. I got to
take it away.
Some soup. Yeah. We just freestyling it tonight. So whatever, I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna be talking about some stuff. But go ahead, y'all.
Okay, I wanted to talk about the little girl that went with the older gentleman. She was 12 years old, I believe. That went with the 22-year-old. Did anybody hear about that? Where she had packed all her stuff
I
up.
want to say I did. So much.
Did he bring her back or something like that?
She had came back, yeah. And I just thought that was like a form of sex trafficking in a sense, but as well as these children are a little too grown, and social media has got them out here talking to grown men, and their mindsets are so advanced to where we have to watch the children when it comes to looking at certain things and talking to certain strangers, because she packed her stuff up literally overnight and went with him. And I thought that was very intriguing and strange, but it also lets us know like that's how the girl's mindset was when it was like the R. Kelly thing going on. And I think a lot of people should take in consideration, if you didn't understand that, this is kind of like a way to understand that. Like these girls thought, I'm grown, I know what I'm talking about, I know what I want, I know that I'm about to get on here and get with him. It was very intriguing though. And she came back home, like her mom was on the news asking for her to come back. But yes, she came home, but it's still the instance of, he's a grown man, he knows better, he knows the age and everything. And she in a sense, knows better, but she's just going by her emotions, her feelings. And I just wanted to see what everyone else thought about that with the age gap and the whole her being a child, just packing up and going, pulling a Kiki Palmer runaway love.
Did anybody else see the text message that supposedly the little girl left, basically saying, "Don't look for me, I'm not missing," yada yada yada. Like that don't sound like no 11-year-old. Like, huh?
No.
I was
I know.
going to say,
I just say beat
as
ass.
much, as much as we want to believe that, like, okay, like, in a sense, she does know better, but like, we know people can be brainwashed. We know adults can be brainwashed. Like we know adults are manipulated on a daily basis to go to work and do things they don't want to do. So it's not, a grown man has to manipulate a child into believing it's safe to leave her home and go with him, like she has to be manipulated into that. Like, I don't believe that was her first initial stay. We've seen how men lure younger children into sending them pictures and to coming to hang out with them and letting them, they guilt trip them. They make them feel like, oh, you don't trust me. Oh, like they interact with them as if they're in a relationship. And a child wants to please people that they like. A child wants to please people that they admire and that they feel is an authority. And so, yes, beat ass. Okay. But also the parent beat the parent ass too, because there's a lot of, what is it? Authority is not the word. She's not watching her, there's no, checking on what she's doing, who she's talking to. And, in this day and age, you have to do that, because like you're saying, like, teenagers nowadays are more grown. They do look closer to, I look like a fucking teenager. I'm 30 years old, like, and so, yeah, there's so much, you have to watch your kids. You have to watch them, especially because you never know who is who behind the screen,
I have a question. Here's my question. We know why, especially with our babies, why they taking our babies, right? But do you think they're allowing this to happen so when they do introduce the whole chipping of it off of the children, people will be more willing to do it? These babies running away, these babies being kidnapped, all these different, where these children is disappearing, and all these. Do you think that all goes together? Anybody?
Definitely. Especially with all this, the teenagers and all this gaming system stuff like that. Now a lot of these kids nowadays are spoiled, if you know what I mean. Like just very much so more privileged than most of us was. Like spoiled to the T where they don't feel like they gotta listen to their parents and they killing them type stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Well, the only reason I was asking is somebody in the chat was talking about putting tracking on all the devices. Okay, well, what's the next step after that? Because you can leave a device.
From a person that has been tracked at a young age on a device, I just don't think that's always a go-to. And I'm only saying it from my stance because I was tracked, still a good child, still a good person. I mean, look at me today, still here. But it still puts a sense of my parent does not trust me, so I'm going to keep doing the rebel kind of thing. I'm going to keep going against the grain. That can instill so many other things in so many different avenues. Granted, I did not. I'm just saying these kids are different. They move different. Like Chaz was saying, they operate different. Technology is different. It's just not the right thing. And to put them in a box and for me, that's how I feel tracking is. Putting them in a box is going to make them keep going out of the box. And you will not be able to contain that monster that you created, because soon, initially, you will be creating a monster in that sense. So I don't believe in the
Okay,
tracking thing.
well, let's take the good babies off the table, the good children off the table. I'm talking about the ones like this little girl that ran away with the pedophile and them kind of children.
Well,
sorry.
According to the chat. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just gonna read what somebody said in the chat, and then you guys take over. I was gonna say, according to the chat, The parents are neglectful. Melanated Lioness said this. She said she has a 14-year-old brother on crack. He isn't in school. She has another sister, and they basically are raising themselves. And she's basically saying the baby may have written that just because of the nature of how they're being raised anyways.
So it's things that's personal stuff that's going on at home, basically.
Yes, and that goes to show that they're going for people that have broken homes already. If you think of it in that sense, if they do this and infiltrating certain ways, they're infiltrating in ways where they know the home is already a little broken, where the mind has already been broken. You know, that's how I'm starting to understand how this is coming together, how this conglomerate is making sense now. It's not people that, oh, I can just easily operate the mind. The home has been already infiltrated. It's already broken. The mind is already broke. I can go ahead in and infiltrate, and it's going to be easy to do it. That's how this is. This is how this is breaking down.
So look, I ran over here to say this because I say whoop ass, but you know, I be playing, but seriously too, you know. But at the same time, I'm listening to the conversation and I understand it. And it reminded me of the bat signals class where I'm talking about Marvin. Marvin sees the bat signal and he knows exactly how to fucking move in and coming to get the little 14-year-old, the 11-year-old, the 12-year-old, the broken mind. And it's people like that it's so disgusting to me because where are you at mentally inside of your mind? You mean these are the people that's in our society, you know what I'm saying, that we go to work with and shit, we don't even know, we stay next door to. This is given Brother B. Y'all know what I'm talking about when I say that? Where he came in and infiltrated and he kept kidnapping their daughter. It was on Netflix and it's a real story. Okay. He came in and he kept kidnapping their daughter. Like it's giving Brother B, like the man next door.
I was gonna say, was it the man next door? And like they kept it's a documentary, right? And it was like their neighbor, and like they kept letting their guard down, and every time he would literally do something, but they kept letting their guard down anyway. You know, I remember seeing something about that.
Absolutely. He told them that his therapist said it would be good for him to sleep with their minor child to get himself back together. People, I don't know how people fall for that kind of shit. And then I hear y'all say that other shit. It's crazy. Let me go make my soup.
Because they programs. You know what I'm saying? That's like you can't have a soul, and that's just me. It's like that sounds stupid. How do you fall for that?
I have another one for y'all, but I'm gonna let it go. I'm gonna let you talk about this first, and we're gonna talk about something that's very similar, and it's just about people falling for shit. So, does anybody else want to talk about this?
You go ahead, Charmaine.
Come on,
the 12-year-old. Keshay.
Huh?
I was saying, you want to say anything about the 12-year-old?
I can't, because in real life I keep going in and out. My Wi-Fi keep messing up on me, and that's why I'm a little thrown off on the topic, and I'm trying. But
Okay. Well, hopefully it gets better. So what I wanted to bring up in relation to people falling for shit is I was on Twitter and I seen a post about a manager who received a call from the cops, and it was about somebody who is a suspect for a robbery. And in this call, the police tells the manager that this woman at your job matches the description. So you need to take her into the back room. The cops are on the phone. Take her into the back room. And over a span of hours, this woman strip search her. The cop tells her to get naked, or tell the lady to get naked. The cop tells her to tell the woman to take her undergarments off. Then after that, mind you, the whole store is running while this is happening. They're in the back of the fucking fast food chain. And the whole store is running while this is happening. So the lady's going in and out while the girl's in the back room butt naked. This is all on a fucking surveillance camera. And so the cop tells the woman, is there anybody that you know that you trust that could be in the room with her instead of you? And she says, okay, my husband. When I tell you, this cop tells the husband to do all types of things, smack her ass, bend her over, spread her butt cheeks. Sorry, y'all, it's a little triggering. And turns out this was not a cop. Turns out that this person had been doing this in fast food chains, like a string of this. And all of these people complied. All of these people complied with this person who was posing as a cop, telling these managers to do awful things to these very young employees. And what it said was basically most of these employees were a very young age. And yeah, this is just an example of how people are very easily programmed and manipulated by people that they seem to trust, and by people that are authorities to them. And when I learned a little bit about hypno babies, which is like hypnotizing for giving birth, but basically the point of that was in our subconscious we listen to authority. So subconsciously messages get through into our brain easier when they come from authority. So whether it comes from a doctor, that's why we tend to believe doctors. When it comes from a police or the president or, your mayor or whoever, your parent. And so that's why a lot of us are easily manipulated by people in power, because subconsciously we absorb their information much easier than we absorb information from other people. So.
And then there's one of those quote unquote authority figure. Like we've all been programmed so well as to when you see those, you just automatically submit. It's just like something in you. You know what I'm saying? Like for not everybody, but for a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. But yeah,
I feel
yeah.
like we need to start getting in a space where we sometimes we just can't comply, y'all. It's
I
Miss
have to
Keshay, we
agree,
can barely hear
Keshay.
you talking in the sexy voice. We can barely hear you, baby.
my bad. I'm trying. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
No, but no, seriously, can you hear me now? Good.
Yeah, we hear
Okay.
you. Yeah, now
But
you yeah.
no, for real, like I wish we were still in the times of like this generation is free in a different kind of way, but like if we had, I guess, like some of that energy from back in the days where I guess like people need to start standing for something and like not allow, you know what I'm saying, like that authoritative thing to really scare them. You know what I'm saying? Like the worst that can happen is like you lose your store job. Like if you don't take your clothes off for the manager, because the police on the phone, that don't even make sense, but they thought it made sense. And
I just think
there's multiple levels of compliance. Like the employee compliance for the manager compliance for the police. Sorry, Chaz.
No, I was saying I was just saying like, us being grown, we're a little older, so our mind ain't as easy to manipulate. I'm not gonna say everybody is, but us being older and having that experience, our minds manipulate now. However, depending on the fast food restaurant, you got 15-year-olds, 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds, 14-year-olds, 13-year-old teenagers. You know what I'm saying? That think they grown, want to be grown, and can't wait to be grown. So, it just, I guess it's much easier for. Because some listen to authority, some don't. But I think it's just more easier for them to get manipulated in that way. They're not thinking like, "Hey, this is illegal." You know what I'm saying? That's not the first thing that's coming to their mind. They're thinking like, "Hey, well, the cop told my manager to do this." You know what I'm saying? So they're not really in that mind state to even thinking, especially while it's going on. You know what I'm saying? They're probably, if anything, traumatized.
Being
I
taught
think fear plays a big factor in it.
Yeah.
I was
Go
gonna
ahead, Miss
say it's
Keshay. I'm
kind of
sorry.
like, I'm sorry.
Miss Keshay, then Jose. Go for it. Miss Keshay? I think her internet went out. Come on, Jose.
I was just gonna say it's kind of like a reverse on how time is going though. You can see how you understand what looping is because at first it used to be we had to be scared that we were being seen through text message pictures. We used to send them. You never know, like if it was an adult person you're really sending it to or whatnot, and you used to send your news and whatnot. And they used to make you scared and fearful of that when you were younger. At least when I was growing up. Now it's we're gonna make you comply in the physical. I want you to get booty butt naked now. And, they are young and you do have a young mindset. You don't really think like that. You don't really operate nor question because, as trying to say, it's authority figure. And they're doing certain things where it's kind of messing with your mindset or keeping your mind always on a what is going on, what is this don't feel normal, but I'm gonna comply because in your head you see what times are looking like. So you're like, I don't want nobody to come up in here and hurt me, shoot me for nothing this easily. And it's ignorant, yes, but it's also serious in a sense too, because you value your life, you value your morality as well, but you value, I want to keep my job, I want to do this. If this is what I gotta do, this is what I gotta do. You don't second guess it. And that might be a problem because they're so young, but also knowing that it came from a sense where I came from a time period where the news were being sent, and that instance, it's kind of crazy in a sense. So I kind of understand where their mindsets are, and I get where some things are going, if that even makes sense. But that's kind of how it's coming off to me. Like it's just remixed in a certain way. Now I want you to get naked in a physical kind of thing. And you have an authority figure that you want to, okay, let me go ahead and strip down and I don't want to get shot. I don't want to get none of this. I don't want no problems here. So I'm just do it and you don't second guess it.
Right.
That-
Right. Right. Right.
I think at some point the person that was on the phone with the cop when he told him or her, whoever it was, to smack that lady on her behind, he should have knew something was up then.
It's kind of a red
Now I would have known with that too. It would have been like,
Yeah,
okay, now you just trying to see my cookie spread.
At one point,
yeah, like
you would believe that, and I guess that's the whole point of it. It is like it happens so much, and people complied. It's like, oh, the managers were arrested. They got in trouble for kidnapping and assaults and all types of stuff because it's like, you believe that? Like you did that because you thought a cop was telling you to do it over the phone? Okay,
they'd be like,
Yeah, that's
bring the
crazy. Miss
cuffs.
Miss Keshay, Keshay, you was gonna say something before you cut out. What happened?
mm, I
All right.
don't, I don't remember.
Oh, okay.
um,
No worries. No
I
worries.
just wouldn't just, but on the topic though, I mean, I just thought it was crazy. I heard about the story. You know what I'm saying? Um, I wouldn't do it. I didn't have a I've been in situations and jobs where like I've had a manager and like it's been crazy stuff that like they try to get you to do, just to like abuse authority, but definitely not on that level. You know what I'm saying? Especially when I was like younger, people try to take advantage. So I understand like the pressures of that, but I couldn't see it. I've walked out of jobs at that time, like for much
Yeah.
lesser. I couldn't see it. That's all.
Yeah. But that's more common than people think. Those type of situations, especially when
It
it comes to
really is.
police.
It really is because people
Hmm.
get shook with the police, especially if they black. So yeah.
Hmm. Hmm. Um, Miss Malika, you want to weigh in?
The only thing that I had to say was that groomers are everywhere. Groomers are everywhere and they pay attention to everything that we don't pay attention to in our spaces. So if you're not doing what you need to do for your kids, the groomers will do it for you. And if your kid packs up her bag in the middle of the night and heads out the house, and that speaks to everything that you needed an answer to. They're out here and you have to be aware that they're out here and they're in DMs. And it's not just groomers with children. I know we like to look and focus at them a lot, but a lot of us are doing the same thing that the children are doing. A lot of us are falling for men in our DMs that we shouldn't be. A lot of us are coming home to men and women and giving ourselves and our all to them when we shouldn't be. A lot of us are complying to things because we have no other option. So we do what the government or the authority tells us to do. We just saw that on a heavy, widespread level as far as everybody that went ahead and got the job. Um, it's everywhere and it's happening all the time. We could be growing our own plants, we could be growing our own foods, we could be having our own gardens, but we comply with the prices at the grocery store as we're complaining about how high they are when we're walking through the aisles and giving them all of our money. Groomers are everywhere. And so you just really have to pay attention to who you want to be and where you want to be at and how you're treating and creating the spaces that you're within so that they know that it's a do not enter here. You ever see the signs, like the security signs that be outside, even if they don't have a security system? And it says like ADT or whatever it is, or even the ones like, go ahead and enter if you want to, my dog will hurt you, or I have a weapon to handle that. Like, that's pretty much what we have to do without putting up the sign when it comes to our life, our children, ourselves, and our spaces. That's it.
All right. And there it is. Shoot. Anybody else want to tap on this?
I'm gonna weigh in real
Anybody
quickly.
else? Come on, Miss Governor.
I remember. I just want to say, I think we have to stop being so afraid of authority. You know what I mean? So it's okay to say no. We believe that we have to comply because that's all they ever say. Comply. They have put it out here. If you don't comply, we kill you. We've forgotten that they're going to kill you anyway. If they want you dead, that's what the fuck they're going to do. You know what I mean? We have to learn to say no. That's not our authority figure, because our authority figure would not treat us that way. You understand what I'm saying? Those are rogue race soldiers. You understand what I'm saying? So whatever that is, we have to learn how to say fucking no. No, I'm not getting ready to do that. You sound stupid. Well, then let's go to court about it then. I'm not afraid. I don't have no warrants. You understand what I'm saying? You can call the police. I don't give a fuck. Police don't scare me. I don't have no warrants on me. You know what I mean? No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not. No, I'm not taking my clothes off. No, I'm not. They were strip searching women on the side of the road in broad daylight in front of people, just strip searching. You know what I mean? Like, where they do that at? It's always, some bullshit. Nah, we have to learn to say no. Stop being afraid.
Yeah. It's a reminiscent of that line off of American Gods where it's like Mr. Nancy was like, he was talking to the slaves and the slave was like, but we're gonna die. And he was like, nigga, you already dead. Same principle.
Yeah, same principle. You're gonna die anyway. You already dead. You might as well unalive these motherfuckers.
Take some out with you.
Yep.
We gonna go together, okay?
That's
that kind of mentality. I feel you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like that. It's just like some kind of chip or some kind of the spell. We just won't. We won't do it. You know what I'm saying? We just won't. It won't click over. It's like a car that. You know what I'm saying? It just won't.
Yeah.
Won't. Anywho, we're coming up on the 30-minute mark. You want to go ahead and take our break and come on back?
And Yehuda says to tell everybody hello. He keeps leaning over in his camera, keeps saying hello to everybody. Let me just say hello.
Greetings, Yehuda.
The governor of the spirit world. It is Yehuda only. And we're going to go ahead and hit a break. Listen, we have sponsorship packages. Please still remember that we can run your commercial. We can play your music during our programming. Okay. So, let's get Keshay back up here real quick. As we go in, let's get it popping.
Whoever said that everything that glitters isn't gold never met goddesses. When my mind and heart feel led astray, or even on a gloomy day, when negative energies come my way, return to sender with one spray. With intention, I will mist, ensuring protection, peace, and bliss. From the north, south, east, and west, Goddessence makes me feel my best. Goddessence Calming Protection Mist, available now at www.grandrising.com.
That is a vow, yeah, that is a promise. Always wanted to be famous, just being real, yeah, just being honest. My haters won't always be nameless, give them no clout, I give them no power. Creators built different, they ancient, sooner than later, all will be ours. I keep an eye out for the numbers, I stay in contact, synchronization. To infinity, even beyond it, I am a common, no destination. A lot of things I am above, and there are a lot of things that are above me. Do not come
All right, y'all. We back. We back. Man.
Love that.
Like I never.
Excuse me.
Jamming every time.
Wait, what happened?
T-shirts. I be y'all catch me every time when I come back. Like, hey.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, because I've been doing the same thing. I'm doing the same thing. Okay, so real quick, just because we were talking about the whole grooming of it all, right, y'all? Um, have you guys seen this? Let's see.
They were tossing around buffaloes and dildos to my students, talking about queer sex, using lube versus using spit.
Meet Joe Bruno, Dean of Students at the prestigious Francis W. Parker Private School in Chicago, which happens to charge $40,000 per student.
They're just like tossing around dildos and gloves. The kids are just playing with them. They're like, how does this work? How does this work? That's really like a little part of my job.
Parents might be stunned to learn that Bruno's version of love and acceptance means handing out sex toys to underage students.
So I've been in the team for 4 years. During Pride, we do a Pride week.
So yeah, speaking of grooming, this is what one of the teachers is teaching. This is what they teaching y'all at teaching these babies at the public schools about those butt plugs and things because they're grooming, right? Because we're talking about grooming.
The creeps are out.
Spray on, Malika. Spray on.
You
Spray
know
on.
what? It's so interesting. Sorry, Cartita. Go ahead, governess.
No, I just was about to say, did he say butt plugs?
He did.
Butt plugs, dildos, talking about booty penetration, the whole nine.
And that's a teacher?
It's always a genome gay. It's always a genome gay.
Yeah, no.
That's what it is.
I was just watching a clip on Instagram about queer theory, which I didn't even know was a term, but it's the theory, like how they have critical race theory. It's the LGBTQ teaching in schools and how they're using it to garner in conversations about pedophilia. And most of the individuals that are in charge of implementing the basis of the queer theory for schools have also written on acceptance of boy love for grown individuals, or have fought in political spaces for one in particular was to decrease the age of consent to infancy. So it's really, we've heard people warn about this for so long, and I overstand inclusion and making sure that there is respect to everyone. The whole you give what you get, give what it is you want to feel, be what it is you want to see. I get that completely. However, it really is, it's bothersome that they're utilizing that to throw these other things in there. Toys. I know there was another one where the teacher had given, I believe it was in Canada, where the teacher had given them a worksheet to fill out about pleasuring themselves, and it was either kindergarten or first grade.
I remember you talking about that.
They had the worksheet that they go home and fill out. Go ahead, Charmin. Go ahead.
I would absolutely be in jail because
there is
I would
no
just have to handle it
inclusion
myself.
initiative.
Like there's no like I could only imagine if my kid, I would probably like crash on the way there. Like it would just be so dramatic because what the fuck are these demons doing? Like these are babies and they're trying to manipulate. I'm speechless. I'm speechless. And I already knew this was going on, but I'm just like still speechless.
I just feel that was one thing that I have a problem with our community. You always want to find inclusion and want to be accepted, but the way it's enforced and how it's portrayed and shown, understandably, we have to go back. It's in cartoons all the time. It's always been in cartoons. Pleakley from Stitch. You know, it's always some stuff. I can name a lot of cartoons where it was just something where you could just lay the map out and you understood. Teletubbies. I mean, How far back do I have to trace it for you? We've always tried to find inclusion and it's been there for us, but the way they're implementing it now is not right for these children. The way you're doing it, it's just one, sadistic. It's disgusting. I mean, who thinks about wanting to touch a little child? Something so innocent. That's how you know they're vile, how they're disgusting. A butt plug, like you want so much inclusion, you want to feel seen. We have to have our right scene. It's only the genome ones that need to have their right scene. Miss Thing needs to be seen on the scene. No, you don't. Because you always want to put a motherfucking butt plug or dildo disclaimer children or something up on there because it just makes no sense to me. They hypersexualize the gay part of it. You don't get to understand the real genealogy of a gay person or mindset of a gay person because it is so hypersexual. So hypersexual. And then you introduce it to kids like that. I understand if they applied for a class where they want to understand about sexual things at a older age around 16, 17, 18. No, as a baby, as a child, no. I just don't stand for that. Being gay myself, I just don't like forcing sexuality like that. I want my own future child to choose themselves. I will never choose that for them, put that on them. I will never allow something like that. If that is who they are, that is who they are. But it will never be me implementing what I think they should be the way they do it in this society. It's just a no for me.
I was gonna say that's funny that we are on this type of topic because I remember back then when we used to have like sex ed class, you know what I'm saying, or something like that, or about to watch a movie about anything, like just we was actually learning about our genitals and all that. You know, back then they used to do that, but I think they took them out of the schools, you know, and now they starting to implement this whole. Don't get me wrong, this whole LGBTQ and all this into the school systems instead of teaching your kids about catching diseases and how to, you know,
Yes.
and how to train them to, you know, when this happens, you know, them talks that sometimes, not saying parents shouldn't be too busy to tell their kids, but sometimes that you don't get at home talk. You know what I'm saying? They took that out of the schools and start implementing this when at a young mind, like they are, like you said, grooming. They're at a young age, kindergarten, first grade. My kids shouldn't even be, shouldn't even be fabricating this right now. You know, like they're not thinking. My kid come home and tell me what's going on at school because my kid is that smart. You know what I'm saying? Type of stuff. But then
I
again,
think I
that's
think
like,
they may have taken, like Rakia says, they still have sex ed. I had sex ed when I was in high school to a certain extent. It didn't go too deep into it. But I feel like they took that away when they took away the missing posters, have you seen me kind of thing, when they took out the dare from school, the drug awareness, because that's what they want from our children now. They want them to be lost in the sauce, using drugs, over sexualized. That's why you see the TV shows of the little girls dancing half naked, all these other things. Like the way that they do it is small bits at a time. They're grooming our children as they're grooming us in front of us on a daily basis.
Yeah, you're right. You got like
Um,
what is that? Toddlers and
technology.
tiaras, and then you got Bring It, and you got all them kind of shows. Yeah, okay, makes sense. Makes sense. Go ahead, Miss Keshay. I'm sorry.
It's a bit much for me because I have 4 kids and like I think about how I grew up not too long ago. I feel in the 90s and like I didn't even have a cell phone until I was 13. And like my kids, they're like 3, 5, and 12, and they got, well, the oldest got cell phones, but they got tablets and all this stuff. And I'm like, I don't like it. I feel like it exposes them to too much. You know what I'm saying? Different, like especially when it comes to like them being on YouTube maybe or certain TV shows that may watch, because I feel like they slide stuff in these little TV shows that's even supposed to be about, for the kids and stuff like that. So it's a lot to try to guard them from nowadays.
I agree wholeheartedly.
I mean,
Wholeheartedly.
it's good to learn about that if you want to learn about that at an older age, but as a child, no, it is not. They have literally been trying to make this something, they keep trying to make LGBTQ a thing even more after Michael, and oh, we just don't have time for that. Like they've been trying to implement that ever since they were in presidency. It's always been like, okay, now it has to be like a huge thing to talk about. I don't think that's something that needs to be talked about. You know, sexuality is something you come into. It is something that if it is presented in a class at a right age limit, that's when you talk about it. Not everyone can talk about it with their parents because I understand how my community is, and you do want to hear and learn certain things because it's so gated for you. But the way it's introduced is not okay. That's how I feel about it, and I'm genuinely that's my stance with that.
I
You go
want to
ahead,
comment
I'm
Takesha.
on
just
this
like, if
comment. She says teen mom making it cool to be a teenage mother. And not only that, is because if they make you see a teenager as an adult, you'll be okay with them fucking them,
the grooming, got you.
sexualizing
Hmm.
them. You would be
Hmm.
okay. Because in your mind, they already doing it. They fast, they hot. That's what they want. They want these children. Listen, I've seen a show, and I've known it in reality. The girl was 10 years old, had a baby. This was something I just seen recently. I can't even remember what the fuck it was on. But she
Mm,
was 10. I think she was a black lady too. She was 10 years
mm.
old when she had her baby, and she said they were telling her that she was fast, but they didn't understand what had happened to her. You know what I mean? We always tell our girls, you being fast. We never put the blame where the blame should go. I
Right.
think we need to look at that shit.
Because who got her pregnant?
Absolutely. Well, my thing is, huh?
Because
Who
who
did
got
what?
her pregnant?
You said school?
Who
Who?
got her pregnant? Exactly.
Yeah, it was like it was somebody. It was like that's what this was all about. I just seen this on something I cannot even remember.
It was a reality show
It
type
was a court
situation?
show. Yes, ma'am. It was on a court show, Kakusa.
Oh,
Oh,
that's insane. Well, bottom line, first grader, if you can barely wipe your ass good, you still eating glue and boogers. I don't think you should be talking about anything sexual.
Not,
That's just me.
not.
I
That's
think
just me.
I think there are parts that you can have conversations with your children when they're younger. Like you definitely want them to know what areas are their treasures
Oh
that
yeah.
everyone else should be having access to, not making it a negative, like how they used to say the naughty place. No, don't do that. Why would you do that? Like, gonna grow up and then she's gonna be like, oh my God, it's naughty. Don't do that. But like, her treasure spaces that no one should have access to, or his or her. There's conversations just about how your body is changing. Things to prepare them for what they may see, especially if they're in public school. Because I will never forget when I was younger, and this was years ago, my cousin coming to Florida, and she was in school in Brooklyn, and she was explaining to me that there were oral exchanges happening in the stalls, and she was in like I think she had just gotten into middle school, and it was her friends that were coming with her from elementary school. So you want to have some form of conversation, but toys introduced by a teacher.
Listen, Malika, this happens so often, y'all, in school. Toddy was in high school, but she was in a school where it was high school and middle school together. And all these kids were surrounded by this bathroom. The teachers were standing there. The teacher did nothing. When Toddy went in, because they went in to see what was happening, the girl was in there. She told my son she got to take one for the team. She's getting ready to let all these little boys like fuck her in his bathroom. Toddy like, no, what are you doing? She like, no, I got to take one for the team. The girl was like in the 7th to 8th grade. She said, do you need a hug or something? Like she didn't want to hear shit what Toddy was trying to say. You know what I'm saying? Like the teachers were standing there. Why they didn't ask any questions? They knew what the fuck was going on. This is at Mount Healthy. Let me call them out because I graduated from Mount Healthy. This is at Mount
That is
Healthy.
that is the truth, and she's not lying. As a Mount Healthy person right here, they will tell you it tastes like ice cream. I gotta go in here because I gotta do this. We used to have minute cards back then. They would go in for the minute cards, and it sounds like a funny joke, but they would get down and do it, and then you'd have the girl walk out, and you have a whole bunch of teachers standing there knowing what's going on, and I sure did get my money. I'm gonna get that minute card. It tasted just like ice cream, y'all.
In
True
third grade,
stories.
in third grade,
True
a teacher
stories.
told me that if I stop and give it to him early, it'll end the chase. Third grade. And I skipped second grade. So I skipped second grade and went to third grade. This boy used to chase
What,
me.
Malika?
A boy on the playground. I know his name to this day. And he disappeared the day after I kicked him in his face. But this was again because the space at home was comfortable, and it was a big uproar once I went home. You want your children to be able to come home and tell you this happened, because the teachers will try to talk these children out of it. He would chase me every day on the playground. He was trying to touch my private area. He would open the door. I would hear him wiggling at the door, because in elementary schools, I don't know if it's still like that now, but the classroom had a bathroom in it. And they had a shared bathroom, a unisex bathroom. But, you take turns and you lock the door when you go in. But every time I went to use the restroom, I could hear the wiggle at the door, him trying to get in while I was using the restroom. One day on the playground, I was running. I finally ran to this teacher, and she was like, if you just stop and let him get what he wants, he'll stop doing it.
What you think was going on in his household?
That's the thing. And I don't even know if they looked into that. Once everything came out and my mom came to the school, my dad was in New York. Once my mom came to the school, I had kicked him and it hurt him. And it was a big thing on the bus. The next day when I came back, my third grade teacher came to me and she said, I'm so sorry. I wish I would have known it wouldn't have lasted this long. And she said, you will not see him again. She said, believe me, you will not see him again. And I never saw him again after that. They removed him from the school that day. But you definitely want your children to be comfortable with coming home to tell you the teacher told them. So
this is what I be talking about when I say that we have to train the boys and the girls, because girls conform to what little boys say they want because they think they're supposed to. I started having sex at 12 years old because I thought that's what I was supposed to do. My boyfriend was 18 because I thought he gave me a fucking teddy bear ring and shit. Like, oh, okay, it's time, I guess, because he gave me a ring. You know what I mean? Like, we conform to what boys say they want. So if you have the boys out here talking about stuff, they want a bad bitch, and the bad bitch is what they see in the videos. Now you have 15-year-olds going to get breast jobs instead of allowing themselves to develop in ways and mentally be fucked up. And now you have kids killing themselves because they don't understand why the relationships are not working, because I thought this is what I was supposed to be. But really, now you a bad bitch, but he done went and got a good girl. You understand what I'm saying? Like, no.
Can I add to that? The baby girls whose moms and they besties over the house and they acting up in front of the babies thinking they're not paying attention. So when they go to school, they walk in that energy. And now they're getting all the attention from the boys who are attempting to conform, not even realizing that they're doing it. So now all of the good girls are like, Spirit, stop it. All the good girls are like, let me go ahead and jump into that behavior too. So now they putting their clothes in their book bag, sneaking into school so they could change, or making it tighter, or pulling up their skirts a little higher. And this other young girl that's just in this environment and bringing it to school doesn't even realize that she is that person.
Right. Wait, can I just go back just for a hot second? Wait, you're muted, governess. We couldn't hear you.
No, I know. I was just saying, I'm that person. I was that person.
Okay.
Wearing the tight pants and shit. My mom died when I was 10. So for me, that's when I became an adult in my mind. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Tell me what to do. No, fuck you. This is what I'm supposed to do because this is what I see.
Got you. Makes sense. Makes sense.
Is it learned behavior? Learn, talk behavior type stuff like you see?
It's modeling behavior. Babies do it from we start early with modeling behavior, even in the way that we smile, with how you blink, how you laugh. Like, you can't tell me that this little girl running around this house isn't a duplication of me altogether. And it's modeling behavior.
So, just real quick, just on a lighter note, I want to digress just a little bit. So, Malika, you was kicking little boys in the ding ding. Okay. Anyway, Anywho, moving right along. I ain't mad at you. Anywho, Yeah, y'all. We're living in a sick
Corbin,
world.
wait, before you jump over that, let me tell you though that because my mom went through a lot as a young girl.
Mm.
Without giving our business out, our family went through a lot when it comes to predators and grooming and so on and so forth. So she has always, from a very young age, implemented this is not okay. This is not okay. And if it happens, come and talk to mommy. However you want to deal with it is how we will deal with it. I won't, even though she would overstep, but to make me feel comfortable was like, I won't overstep. I won't embarrass you. We'll handle it. But these were conversations from a very young age. So whatever I had to do in that moment was what I was going to have to do because I knew this
I know
was
you did the right thing.
right. Yeah, but being young, you're just not sure. And when you're in school, you're there on your own, unless you have siblings. You are out there in the world alone, because adults are teaching their children these ways and don't even realize they're grooming their own children. There's so many personalities that show up to school. It's pretty much like a mini version of this chaotic world that we're all out in. It's the children who don't even have the guidelines to know the wrong or right. So you're stuck in this space with so much chaos, and the teachers aren't doing what they're. Listen, homeschool. That's the solution. Let me look in the camera.
Homeschool. Can I address Miss Athena? She says, I was never hot. I'm literally with the man who took my virginity, and we're married now 23 years together. I'm 38. Let's do that math, Miss Athena. That means you was hot to trot still, mama. There was something that was still broken there for you to even have sex at that 23 years together. You're 38. Let's do that math. You gave yourself to the very first person that showed you the attention and the love. Not saying it's not a great marriage, but I'm saying, when were you able to be the woman who you were supposed to be before you became somebody else's wife? This is my struggle with this shit. You understand what I'm saying? When I see this becomes my struggle with it, because I have a lot of people that come to me and do sessions with me, and they say, I've been with this person 21 years. And I left my mama's house to be the mother, to be the wife. I never got to become me. I never got to be me first. You understand what I'm saying? Because now I don't care if you was only single and in your own apartment for a year. You didn't get to live life. That's my struggle with it. You know what I'm saying? Became 17 and then 21. You became a woman before you could grow into the woman. That's my problem with this, man. We don't allow ourselves to grow naturally into the people who we should be, man. We jump right into it. Now, like, one of my favorite movies is Runaway Bride. And I'm going to tell you why. Because you see that she never knew herself. She would eat poached eggs. She didn't even like poached eggs. She ate scrambled eggs. She ate fried eggs. She was eating shit she didn't even like. Why? Because she was adapting to the likes of other people because she didn't know who the fuck she was. When you have kids, I didn't even like raviolis, but I would eat them because Toddy was eating the shit. So I didn't even realize, okay, I'm just eating some because somebody else is eating it. I don't like raviolis. Not out the can. You know what I'm saying? We don't get to know who the fuck we are as people growing into young adults.
Very true. Very true. But I think that's because we're scared to be ourselves. We're scared to, and then we have the pressure of being what society says we're supposed to be.
Yeah, because that's what we think we're supposed to do, Carmen. We think genomes put that shit there. You're supposed to they're marrying kids off at 13, 14 years old. You fucking marry my daughter at that age and I'm coming with a shotgun. I'm killing everybody in your house.
Basically, in a nutshell. But it's scary when we've come out of the programming to a certain degree and you can see where you were in that. Yeah, it's scary because we was all there at one point. We was all there.
Mm-hmm.
It's scary. I just guess I give a lot of gratitude to you and spirit and soul and all that, because who knows where we would be collectively, us, the family, the cousins. I mean,
be who
it's
the
just
fuck
scary.
you want to be. Let's take a poll. Can we take a poll, Malika? And you married? I want to take a poll. How many people have been in a relationship and you either don't like that person for real, you don't like what they do, or you feel like you can't really be you can't praise the way you want to praise, you can't think the way you want to think because of that person, the way that they were raised, or the way that they see themselves, or the way they feel like y'all should be, even though it's not y'all, it's you?
Now, that used to be me once upon a time. And that used to be me, and I could put that poll up because I thought that's what I had to be because I grew up seeing that I was in a fractured space. It was a fractured marriage. So I thought that construct is what I needed because I thought I've seen that. I've seen how this marriage is fake, it's false. It is an imagination in their both of their heads. I see what it really is, but I'm gonna have that same imagination. I would get in relationships and I would just have these fantasy moments thinking it can be what it can be, but I also know I don't like you. I know you don't like me. I know you don't want to fuck me. I don't want to fuck you. I just know I'll get all the way there and just say yes for the ring because that's what I've seen this be in my life. And I'll say, I'll do something a little different than this. I'll divorce you. And they never divorce, so I'm gonna divorce your ass. I'm gonna divorce you because I feel like I'm gonna show them that they couldn't do it, so I can do it. But why would I have to get myself all the way there, knowing that this was what it was, this is what it is? And those are things that I had to work on within myself with a lot of relationships because it was the same thing every time. You don't like me. There's always a secret here. There's always something here. It's always something, but I still ran to that because I thought, I mean, okay, that's what I'm going to go ahead and go get. And that's when I'm going to go ahead and evolve myself to think that, yeah, I'm going to put myself in this relationship. I might not like you, but it's what I was conditioned to see, knowing, knowing that's not what I wanted. That's not what I felt. And I was willing to do so. So I could put my hand up for the poll once upon a time for old Jose, but new Jose knows that I need and I deserve and I require more and I will get more. I desire more. I aspire to have more. And I will not be thinking like that ever again. But I have been that person. So I'm gonna put my hand up for that poll for the old version of me in 2022 that I left a long time ago. And this is the new me.
I was gonna say for me, it was more so a comfortability thing. You know, it was more so like, yeah, I don't like you. Yeah, you know, you don't like me, but we gonna make this work. Like it was kind of like we was using each other, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it was just more so comfortability. But I would, at the same time, I wasn't comfortable. I was really uncomfortable. You know, I was just used to being in that certain energy and that certain environment type stuff. You know what I'm saying? That comfortable environment, that toxic stuff, and yeah, I don't want to be comfortable no more. I want, you know, like you said, Jose, what Jose wants for him, that's what he wants, you know, and I want what's for me is got to be for what's for me because I'm tired of learning my lesson. Let's just put it like that because I keep going back to stuff that's so familiar, you know? So I totally get that. And I just, it's so much peaceful. And I think what it was is sometimes we don't know how to be alone, you know? Some of us don't know how to be alone. A lot of people like to go gravitate to somebody else's energy because that's what makes them comfortable, you know? And sometimes what you think may make that you seem may be comfortable, it's not comfortable when you get it, you know? So that's what it is for me. Not anymore though.
It still is for me. I woke up today and may not have liked Ro for the first 2 hours. I'm just saying.
That's going to happen.
So look, this is what I was going to say. The grass is always greener on the other side. Jump over and try it out. Jump over and try it out. You have to be able to jump over that fence and get the feel of every bit of grass so that you know exactly what is for you. My dad always calls every 3 months. He calls and he says, Malika, no better than that. And in Jamaica, that means there's no better than what you got. And he will sit with Ro and I forever and say, if it can't be worked out, if you've tried everything and it can't be worked out and no one is bringing harm to anyone, then look at alternate options. But if it's something that you can sit down and figure out and talk about and grow from and learn from, who's better to do it with than the person that's your person?
But you got Ro after experiencing fucked up relationships.
A lot. And
we have people jumping in relationships for 20 years who ain't never been in a relationship.
Right. So but the thing is though, also, this wasn't always what y'all see. This was a fucked up relationship. This was I didn't know myself because of all those other relationships that you just spoke of. And also because of the time where I thought I was learning myself, but really I was just trying to see if I was a hoe or not. Like, learning yourself. You was just being young, wild, and free because you had been trapped from the age of 14 to I had my son at 19. My son's father got locked up when I was 19, and we separated when I was 20. So between 20 to maybe like 3 or 4 years, I was just running wild and free. Like, this is life. Oh, I ain't gotta call nobody.
But you was on tour. You was singing and doing all kind of shit though. You was kind of living that life too.
That gives you the room to really play. So
yes,
I thought I was learning myself, but I was really just being Malika the artist, and I was just figuring out whether or not I like being a hoe or not. Like, do I like it? You know, I learned
she was soiling her royal oats. That's all. She was soiling her royal oats. That's it.
But the thing is that it was always uncomfortable for me, but it was again because I didn't know myself. So even it played across everything. My music, I allowed people to move me around and treat me how they felt in music with my voice, to tell me what my voice should be, because I didn't know myself to trust enough that my validation was good enough. I'm not learning that till right now. Like, really learning that it's okay to validate yourself, and the extra is extra on top of the cake. Like, I'm learning that now with the business, with being around governance, with the beautiful cousins that we have here. Like, we learn this lesson now that we're sitting together and we talk with each other. But when Ro and I met, because we both didn't know each other, like, we didn't know each other and we didn't know ourselves. We just knew the idea of what we were feeling, and it felt good and better than what we had. And so we focused on that. But through all the perils, the toils, the whatever, we had to do the work on self, away from each other, even in our relationship, and then come together and do the work. And that's where I talk about that 50-50 balance, where people think it's 51 for the woman, 50% the man, but it's not. It's 50% feminine and masculine in the female, 50% feminine and masculine in the man, because you want a man who can tap into his feminine needs, the catering, the caring, the taking time to nurture, the being able to sit down and hear you out, stepping outside of the way that men set up their tasks for the day, and being a little bit more intricate and emotional for his female counterpart. And you also want the woman to be in her masculine as well, because sometimes you got to hold down the fort, and your hubby got to know, or your partner has to know, hey, I can handle this, I can get this done, and he can just watch you move and be proud. So we both went through that process. Again, it never ends though, because I'm still learning myself. And at this point, I feel like I will forever be learning myself, and so will he. But when you pay attention to being friends with your partner, when you have the ability to really just have fun and make that your bestie, then you take the time to know the patience is worth it. The giving of freedom to them to continue finding themselves is worth it. Doing the same for myself is worth it, because there's so many pockets that you can lose yourself in, that if you get caught up in those, at end all be all, learn yourself. Just as governance and everyone else stated, you have to, even in the relationship, and that's an everyday thing, every month thing. We're now learning ourselves as business owners. That's a whole new thing. I'm watching Quatita's readings, and she's saying, Cancer, be nice to Sagittarius. Don't tell him he can't do what he needs to do. Don't try to lead it in the business. And I'm like, no, but I'm going to fill the bottles. Job. But the thing is, the beautiful thing about that, even in learning yourself, is your partner gets to know you as they see you learn yourself, and vice versa. So he'll know based on my reaction, like, no, babe, you're right, I agree with you, you need to do that. And then other times he'll know when to step in and say, nah, but look, I got this, because you need to take a break. We need to, So I just wanted to say, it's still me. It's still me, and it's going to be for a while. It's going to be for a while, because that's part of the fun, and that's part of the growth of the relationship too.
Well, speaking of taking a break, Carbon.
We's gonna be right back, y'all.
My name is Quatita Dean, and I am the Ancestral Interpreter. Soul Sessions Live is a show that you must hear and see to believe. I have helped many people connect with a lost loved one to get the closure they deeply desire. This is my passion, and I can't wait to take you on a walk with the ancestors.
Hey, y'all. We back.
Carbon, can I say something as I'm being spirit led, Nick T?
Indubitably.
I saw a cousin in the chat say it's so hard trying to find a man that's into your spiritual journey and that can understand. This is part of the getting to know you part. He never has to affirm for me. There are things, conversations when he walks in the room and me, let's say Governess and I are having a conversation and he walks in and he's like, whoop, this conversation is not for me. I'm going the other way. I don't need him to be there for that. I don't need him to validate that for me. And I don't need to validate his choices for him. However, when they see that you are in a space where you are growing, where you're finding yourself, you're healing, sometimes we look for them to be a part of that. And maybe it's just your individual journey within that dynamic. Whatever he's doing to grow and do, hopefully do the same things that you're doing, you all will meet each other in the center in this new growth. And there's a difference between I want you to study what I'm studying and appreciate it versus I appreciate what you've been studying because it brought you here to me in this manner. It brought you to me in the best version of yourself. Go ahead, Governess.
I'm gonna say this, and then I would like to hear from Keshay as well, because Keshay's been in a long-lasting relationship as well. But I go through this a lot with people, and they come to me and they have to fight with their spouses, and I have been called a bitch one too many motherfucking times for me. You know, that bitch, you watching that bitch again, that bitch, would that bitch say this, that bitch don't know, why you keep watching her? Like, you have to pay attention. And when people talk to you like that, that means I'm losing control because you're finding yourself. And if that's what you're hearing, that means you are in a toxic or abusive relationship and you don't even fucking know it. Because if somebody thinks that you growing and learning of self and learning spiritually and they can control your spirit walk, you came in this motherfucker by yourself, you gonna leave by yourself, honey. You could be with this motherfucker for 30 years and you didn't listen to him and he didn't told you spiritually everything you supposed to do, and you die, he gonna remarry. Get the fuck out of here. Keshay?
Well, I feel like I'm free to express myself in my marriage as far as my spirituality. Um, because I'm just so spiritual, meditating and things like that. Um, I think that it's a unique journey. So I feel like soul contracts and things of that nature come into play when it comes to people getting together in relationships. I feel like we make agreements and people have certain life paths. For me, I feel like it has to be a natural thing. you know, when it comes to getting together. If it's not genuine, it's not really worth it. Because I do feel like you need to be okay with being alone. Because, like, the thing about it, like, for me and my husband, we've been knowing each other since 12. But like I said, boyfriend and girlfriend on and off. You know what I'm saying? So we did experience life as well. And with that being the case, you know, it gives you a different kind of perspective. You know, it gives you, like, you kind of already been there, done that. Certain things don't phase you. You know what's out there, you know, that type of thing. So, like, you didn't, like, miss out. And then, you know, it's like a catch-22 because you know each other so well. And sometimes that's good. Sometimes that's like, you know each other so well. So, like, you know, the good, the bad, the ugly, especially when you grew up with somebody for real, for real. So, like, that's kind of a lot to take in at times. I don't believe that people get married for all kinds of reasons. I don't believe that you should really get married unless it's a matter of, like, if you would, like, it's just like having a passion. Like, you know, if you would rather go through hard shit, like if life is hard, but you rather go through it with them, you know, and it still feels good. Like, if that's where you at, that then is worth doing. Other than that, a lot of shit out here is toxic. You know, it's the family, the black family dynamic has been struggling for a very long time now, and of course we know why. You know, that's deep rooted. That's a whole entire other thing. So I think it's two sides to, you know, to the coin. You do have to experience life. You know what I'm saying? I've been
Well,
single
you
for like
said that
2 or 3 years at a time.
y'all kind of on and off, so you've gotten to experience some other things
Yeah.
in and out. And I ain't saying you're supposed to just fuck a lot of people. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if you just pick this one person, you don't know if that's really what the fuck you like.
You don't know what you like. I literally
I mean?
found myself, like when I would date other people, they would be cool and stuff, but I had to learn, like, for me, I was thinking that my husband wasn't enough of something. Like, we would just go through all kind of different shit because we were so young. You know, that's just how it is. But I found myself looking for him, like, in all these other people that I was seeing. Like, they would be cool, they would be this, they would be that, but they still wasn't him. They still was missing, like, just certain things that actually mattered to me instead of surface level shit. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that I can actually go through some things with, grow with, trust. You know what I'm saying? And like, be myself with. You know, instead of, like, because a lot of people like who they believe you are, just the idea of you, how you may look, who they think you be, you know, you are, you know what I'm saying? Those types of things. But, you know, you got to get somebody, like, I got hit by a car when I was 20. And, like, me and my husband, we weren't together at the time. He wasn't even my boyfriend. Like, we was just kind of cool. We started back talking a little bit, you know, stuff like that. But I got hit by a car, and he dropped everything, and, you know, he came to be with me in the hospital. And that was, like, one of the moments, you know, I kind of was like, okay, he kind of solid. You know, he'll pull it up. You know, it's just different. You kind of, that shit takes time, though, to see if somebody's real. Mm-hmm. You know, to see if somebody's there for you when certain things happen in life. So it varies. It's a case by case thing. Like, if it's worth it, it's worth it. But if it's not, it kind of takes away from you fulfilling your soul purpose and focusing on yourself. You got to be able to do that in whatever you're in.
Can I ask? Okay, we have 1, 2, 3 on the panel, and I know we have some in the chat. I had to look to make sure I wasn't on mute. Shit, because I be just talking and people can't hear shit. Do y'all have deal breakers?
I do.
I do.
Mm-hmm. You know.
Yeah.
And when do you, because listen, I've been in love, and I've, not the shit y'all saying, shut up. Okay, it's always been like this. Never mind. But I know the feeling. Okay. And I have thought to myself, because I understand not wanting to leave that person too. You know what I'm saying? Because I've always thought too, like, what if this motherfucker go be the good motherfucker for the next person? You know, you feel me, Chaz? What if this motherfucker go be that person that I've been trying to get him to be or her to be, him to be? Let me stop playing. Why am I talking? Let me go get some more soup. Because I don't like, and I've had deal breakers and I've gone past those deal breakers too. Like, okay, maybe the next time it happens, it'll break the deal. Like, do y'all have deal breakers committee?
I do. I have deal breakers. One of my
That's
biggest ones is my looks. If you just see from the outside, I am very layered. I'm gonna say it like that. But if you just see me from the outside, and I can tell when you just see from the outside, I become a little numb, a little stone cold to you. But I try to definitely move past that because I know it's probably hard for you. I don't see my looks as what you see or how you see, but I see that is one thing you get caught up on. You don't see my mind. You think I'm a dumb broad. You think you can say some shit and it's gonna get past me. I see everything you're doing. I see how you're moving. I see how you're talking to me. I let it slide. But that is my main like thing that I always just go over the top and just say, what's that new thing they say? That's my ick. That's like the new terminology. That's my ick. Like, just don't see me for the outside. Because if you see me for the outside, I know you'll never see me for the inside because there's so much beauty within you just see from the outside. And my mind is so multifaceted. That is why I'm single. I am very strict and I'm really, really on my shit. You have to come with it more than just money, more than just looks, and more than just focus on my looks. It has to be a lot more than that to get to me. I am not some easy passage. I am not these other little gay hoes. No offense to all my, gays that's on here. We ain't all no hoes. But I'm just saying, I'm just not like the rest of them. You might get what you get out in the field, but baby, I'm gonna be that diamond in the rough in the damn ground. When you find me, you're gonna say, this motherfucking gym is a gym. And I've been waiting for it to be a gym, but I just really can't deal with the whole look thing, but I've got past that, but I still stay in relationships, even though that's all they see. And it's something that's like, this is the only thing that validates you for wanting to be around me. Is it love? Probably not. I know it's infatuation and lust for you, but I stick around and I keep it going because I want to have something to feel real. I want to feel something. And I know I don't feel anything, but I still stick around and try to feel it. I don't know, but that is my ick. That is my deal breaker. But I still break that same deal with myself and go ahead and stay within a relationship and that toxicity, like Chaz was saying, in that relationship because it's something that I want. Everybody wants to desire love and feel love. So I break that deal with myself and just say, bitch, look past it. It is what it is, and you're just gonna have to deal with it. But that's my egg.
Accountability. Which I wasn't taking none. Which I wasn't taking none. So I said I learned my lesson. Yeah, wasn't really taking no accountability, but at the same time I was giving the person chances. You know what I'm saying? I was giving them chances, like, just, maybe if I be this positive type of person, maybe you'll grow and see something inside of me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wanted somebody to see me. You know what I'm saying? But wasn't nobody really seeing me, but at the same time I was seeing them and building them up. Like, it was just, yeah, let me get out, not whether it was toxic or not. You know what I'm saying? So it was kind of like, you're doing this to yourself at this point, So yeah, I just need to be left the hell alone. So that's what I'm doing now. Yeah.
And I
For me
get that
personally,
building them up. Oh, you go ahead, Harbin. What you got to say?
no, me, I I was in a 9-year relationship, and you know, the breaking, like, what is it? What were we saying? The deal breaker for me was is if we sit and we have a conversation, this is what is expected on both ends. You know what I'm saying? And then you decide you want to break your end as far as this is supposed to be a monogamous relationship, and then I come to find out this ain't a monogamous relationship. You know what I'm saying? That was a deal breaker for me. I gave about 2 or 3 chances. Don't get me wrong, but once I accepted it was what it was, I was done. But that's just me, and I've been single ever since. And you know, maybe because I'm an only child, I don't have a problem with being alone. Prefer to be alone. Something, you know what I'm saying? Because it's less bullshit that way. But I'm open. I'm open for another one, a relationship or whatever the case may be. But yeah, that's my deal breaker. If we've had a conversation and this is what it is on my end, this is what it is on your end, and I'm upholding my end of the bargain, but you ain't, I can't fuck with you. I'm good. 9 years down. Depending on how you look at it, some days I feel like it's wasted down the drain, but then it's like, okay, but you did learn a lot and it was a lot of good experiences, but it depends on the day. Shit, let's be real.
We not sharing.
Tangie, I saw you with that. Us Libras need a lot of chances. I think not. Mm,
No.
I think not.
No.
Fuck no.
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 Hell no.
We not sharing.
No.
I'm sorry.
Tangie, you better cut it out.
I did not do well in school when it came to that. To get in a lot of trouble. Not sharing.
No. So, okay. Y'all know I'm just throwing the questions out there. So, are we open to open relationships, to polygamy? Are we open to hall passes? Like, are we open to that? I'm just asking, and I'm gonna pay attention.
We not sharing.
I'm like Keshay. I'm not going to share either, but
And
I haven't cheated on a lot.
that's just not gonna work for nobody. People don't know
No.
how to act for real. Like if you really involved other people and like if you really out here doing all these things, like somebody gonna feel some kind of way. You know, it's that ain't gonna work out well. People be going crazy and stuff. People be in
They
your
sure do.
bushes. You be it's not listen.
I mean, it's going to be like acrimony.
What,
Jumped on
Malika?
Taraji P. Jump on a
Listen.
boat randomly.
I can hear the other voice in my head right now. You know what I'm saying?
That part.
I'm going to be just
I
like
tried
Taraji
it.
was.
It don't work.
No.
Malika,
It's not working.
what happened,
It's not
Malika?
worth the squeeze.
I was just listening.
Listen, what is it, Malika?
Keshay is right.
What you over there?
Keshay is right. I mean, them
She
situations
is.
cause some major PTSD. And although I can't say it would never happen again, it probably, I don't know. Keshay's right. Keshay's right.
People don't know how to act.
Especially if it's a good, healthy, like if it's a good situation, if it's a feel good situation, or there's any parts of it that madness is, they might just end up showing up on your good friends live while everybody's watching at a gas station, pretending like they ran up on them in your sweatshirt. It gets crazy in these streets.
And your friend don't know, and she's like, "You're so beautiful. Oh my god."
And your friend, woo. Okay.
I just feel like somebody's always going to end up feeling like being left out in some shape, form, or fashion. It's always going to be like a third wheel kind of situation. Somebody's going to be the third wheel. That's how I look at it.
No.
I don't like being the third wheel. I'm super jealous.
I am too. It's
I
like a
don't
toxic kind of
I feel you.
jealous.
I feel like you hugged her twice more times than you hugged me. What the fuck, no?
Like
I'm
what we
different
really
than
doing
Fatita
here.
though. I'm gonna let it happen and then I'm gonna get you home. What the fuck was that shit about?
What was that about?
Did you?
Yeah.
So you gonna
Did you
pound her
caress?
2 more
Did you
times than you
caress
gonna
that
pound
chin
me?
like
What the fuck is going on?
5 seconds longer in line? You caressed the
5
chin
seconds
5
fucking
seconds
longer.
longer in line.
So you
Like,
and this bitch
wait
something
a
going
minute.
on outside of this? See, no, I can't.
I will say though that it does open up spaces if you have individuals in the situation that are willing to find growth within that space. it does open up some really great conversations where you get the chance to be introspective. Marshall,
No,
listen,
bro. No, too
governors
much
gonna have to give
soul.
y'all
Too
the
much
story
soul
time.
meshing. Too
The
much soul
governors,
meshing.
sorry, Keshay, go ahead.
Too much soul meshing, man.
So
No,
you know what? There's moments where
too
I
many
really
rituals.
I really got to learn ways that I could be better to him. Even within those moments where I may have started the conversation. I
think
got
you
to
should
learn within
interview
those
people that have open relationships and polygamy. So if y'all know anybody that may want to interview, let's interview somebody. A couple of them. Go ahead, Malik. I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
I
I'll be
know a
watching.
couple.
But there were a lot of moments though where I did get to really, if you really want to do the work, that's the thing. No matter what the circumstances, no matter what you try as a couple, if you really go into it with an intention of, if you really go into it with an intention of, I'm going to grow from this, then it's not, it doesn't always end up being like what a lot of people feel like it is. But I can see how it is in a lot of spaces, and there's still chaos. Are you willing to clean that chaos up? It's much harder with more individuals, you know. But I could never be the new person. I gotta say that I could never be the new person. I have to be part of the base. I have to be part of the cornerstone. Um, and someone just said, imagine them going on a date without you. That's what had just popped up. Listen, when you are many years into marriage, you want the house empty. When you are many years into marriage and you have someone in the house that you trust that will take care of the babies, and you get to go to a hotel by yourself and you know everything at the house is straight, and you get to go and sit by the pool and have a 2-day to yourself and do your FaceTimes, and it's just your rest and relaxation. Sometimes that shifts that energy of imagine, you know, I mean, that's all I had to say.
Not for me. No.
It just, you know.
I'm at the hotel by the pool plotting deaths. That's what's happening. That's what's going on. The fuck out of here. Who? Woo, child.
And he better not be buying her what the fuck he buy me. That's all I know. Okay.
Because why does it go one side? Like, why is it only I don't know many men that can handle like if their wife had a boyfriend.
That's what I'm saying. That's
So,
never
like, quit
equal.
playing. That's not gonna fly in real. Like you can't handle that. He's been doing. Like, don't do that. So like
a couple with 2 men. That's too much dick for me. I can't even take one dick. Never mind.
I got 20 kids.
Listen.
I don't see like
I'm the pappy.
It's not. It's like that. That's not gonna work. It's like
wow.
Yeah,
well,
no.
moving right along.
No. I don't care.
What other hot topics we got?
You gonna say you gonna take our?
Okay, I mean, we can run another one real quick.
I was gonna say, or we could wait. I mean, but this is normally the time.
Yeah, we can run it.
Okay, we'll be right back, y'all.
Purify, protection, peace, love, cleanse, your true essence, goddessence, calming protection mist, now available at grandrising.com.
My name is Quatita Dean, and I am the Ancestral Interpreter. Soul Sessions Live is a show that you must hear and see to believe. I have helped many people connect with a lost loved one to get the closure they deeply desire. This is my passion, and I can't wait to take you on a walk with the ancestors.
Oh, that was a quick one. Hey.
Couldn't even squeeze out a good fart.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Hey, see.
What now? Breaking up.
Of the guy,
wait,
somebody's throwing something at us. Oh wait, we good?
Nope, we
We
couldn't
good?
hear shit you
We
said.
glitched. Okay. Okay. Has anybody seen the video of the lady of the Gaga? Right. Somebody threw something at her on stage. She like flicked her hand and it just like flicked off of her. Has anybody seen that video?
No, wait.
Has
What
anybody
is
heard
it
the
called?
story? I'm about to. Okay. Okay. I
Let
can
me
show
put
you
you to
better than
the
I can tell you,
screen.
baby.
All right. Let me
Okay.
pull you up.
It's some sort of
Oh, I did see this.
sparked a huge debate on Twitter.
Y'all saw this?
What do you think's happening here?
You see that?
Yeah.
What do some people say? It's some people say it's like a hologram or something. And
I know they were saying at first it was like a what do you call that thing that's a bubble around you? Fuck. What is it called?
well, I know in the
Force
hologram they
field.
got the glass. Oh,
Force
force
field.
field. Okay. Could be. It could be because I mean it looked real to me. Like she was like, "No, go away." Yeah.
I mean,
Quite too much.
she does swear to Lucifer, so
Oh, that's right. That's her pappy. Okay. Anyway.
They just keep playing in our face.
all the time.
Mhm. Oh, how about Go ahead. Who's gonna say something?
No, I was gonna say I have something I want to share, but I will let you all choose which one. OJ speaking on the OJ. Why did I say his name like that? OJ speaking on the Kardashians, or someone falling to their knees for King Charles.
Both. The fuck?
Okay, let's start with the King Charles knee fall. Okay.
Jewish Muslims women's network. So you know, intake work here. And it's a lot of people who have got
The anger that's welling up inside of me.
Oh my goodness.
We're right in the slave mode. Right.
I was thinking the same thing. If you
You'd
don't
be
get
angry,
up,
and I'll be embarrassed for us all.
I'd be embarrassed for her too. You're on a baking show, Carla. Oh, thank you.
None of the genomes, just this bitch. Just the
Yes.
fucking genome.
They literally looking at her like, sis.
Slap her with a dick.
What are we doing?
I was appalled
Like
to
you,
see
you
that
know,
it was a black woman.
you know him and his people colonized your people, right? Okay.
You
Anyway,
know.
anywho.
After everything, they was like, so you really like him, huh?
Yeah.
God,
Right.
yeah, we can tell. We
You
can
dig the
definitely
king?
tell.
All he want to know is what's the blood type of this nigga, please.
Right.
Literally.
Right.
What's her blood type?
This
She
nigga rock
good,
and roll. So.
she good for the eating. Like, knock it fuck off.
Right. I can taste the slave in her. Okay, I'm sorry.
But there's, you know, speaking of the blood type, there's another video that I got the link to. It's off of Instagram where they're talking about child breeding within sex trafficking. And I never thought about the fact that with the children that are bred within the trafficking rings, because they do that, those children don't have birth certificates. So they can unalive and there'll be no record of it whatsoever. And that's one of the main reasons. If you all want, I can play that one after. But here's OJ and the Kardashians, what he had to say. Okay.
Orenthal.
Oh, hold on.
Really nice. But,
Hold on.
you know, I always thought Chris was a cute girl. She was really nice. But, you know, I was dating.
You know the rumor.
But the rumor ain't true. It's not even nowhere close to being true.
Some people think like you might be Khloe Kardashian's real dad.
No, I'm not.
Because like Kim's like 5'5", Courtney's like 5'3", and then Chloe's like
I've
6'2".
seen the family say something about a cook or something, but I don't know.
Girl. Chris was a cute girl. You was fucking the shit out of Chris. Knock it the fuck off, because you was knocking her the fuck off.
But did the man just say that he heard the family say something about maybe a cook being Chloe's dad?
Yeah.
He heard something about, so OJ is putting it on the chef of the house.
It's the milkman's baby.
It is another nigga around them. She do look just like him. It's another nigga around.
I mean, they put her up against this old baseball player too. The bitch favorite. It's probably a whole bunch of different sperms just mixed the fuck together.
I was gonna say it's really just Chris. Like, listen,
It's called a busted baby. You don't know who the daddy is.
We can't call it at this point. We can't call it at this point.
It was
she looks like OJ's daughter. Just say that shit.
She looked like anybody other than the nigga they said that's her daddy.
That part.
It was OJ for me saying, what does he look like dealing with Kris Jenner when he dates supermodels?
Because listen, she was a supermodel. Did he forget it?
Right.
Back in the day. Right.
Back in the day.
Right.
If anybody else did that shit, Kris Jenner was a supermodel.
We're not stupid. We know the supermodels you were dating back then are not the supermodels that we're thinking of now. Like, they literally look like Kris Jenner, and they literally were at her caliber. Like,
never mind,
were
he,
not
Charming. He didn't say her husband was my good friend.
He just said the chef did it. I'm gonna go on.
Like, we know they was all at your trial. Okay,
that part. Woo, child, that was a lot.
I thought that was very interesting. Do you all want to see the child trafficking video?
Yeah,
or
let's pull it up.
Yes.
These children are not just kidnapped and in some cases bred by families as a cash crop. We have people in the United States of America that breed children in order to sell them. And when they are sold, they come without birth certificates, which means it's easier to kill them and have no one ask where they are. We're also importing children by the plane load. Again, children who have no documentation. It's not just child slavery or child sex abuse. It's also child torture because you have adrenalized blood. You have the whole blood drinking ceremony of the satanic world. It's also the use of children for harvesting body organs. We'll have the Falun Gong testimony tomorrow. One of the reasons that the Falun Gong are so popular is because they're so healthy, so that you can harvest their body organs and get the very best. And then you have ritual ceremonies and ritual murder, as well as incidental murder. But I know the system. I've been a spy all over the world. I have created the Marine Corps Intelligence Command. I have trained intelligence and law enforcement representatives, over 8,000 of them from across 66 countries. They are all, without exception, good people trapped in a bad system. Now that we've had Pizzagate, for example, which opened people's mind, is we could achieve an open. Children are not just.
So that is former CIA operative turned ITNJ chief counsel Robert Steele.
Who was he saying was good people trapped in the bad system? Who was he? Who
right then is where the clip cut. So I'm going to find the original video because I need to see what the rest of this is, including what this sit down in this meeting is, because they said that they're going to talk about Falun Gong the next day.
Yeah, I've seen some of that before. What you played? Yeah, what the fuck? You created the system. What I was going to say, Malika, is how much do we actually believe inside of what he's saying, because he created the fucking system, and why you ain't dead because they killed the fuck out of William Cooper.
Quitita, I'm so glad that you said this because I have seen a couple of videos of that justice system, of them talking about it. And when I came to sit down when she was playing it, my first thought was, I feel like they're a part of this shit. Like, I feel like they're sitting around just talking about it. Like, they could just talk about the adrenochrome and the fucking, they could just talk about it.
You created it, sir. You're part of the fucking problem.
Like, exactly. Like, what's actually happening? What are they doing? How do they know all of this information? How are they able to just share it? And it's on
You know what it is,
online.
Shani. It's universal law.
Right.
They just have
Exactly.
to tell you, that's all.
Yes, exactly.
He ain't saying he out of it. He's just letting you know what the fuck it is.
Yeah.
Because he got to.
But see, the thing that I like when I see things like this, fuck him. But there's so many individuals that have said these things so many times across all borders, all life, and they've been called crazy. They've been removed from their jobs. They've been ridiculed. The individuals that walk with the theories are called out of their names. So to now have a CIA, whatever his motive is, because we know they always have a motive, to now have a CIA or previous CIA agent saying these things with such comfort, as you all stated, it's like, okay, well, who was really crazy? Okay.
Covered up. You know, sometimes when they had CIA operatives, they be in all black or you can't see their face or something like that. Like, he was very comfortable with saying these things, you know. His voice didn't tone down nothing.
None at all.
Universal law, they have to tell us. And he kept using they. Like he was speaking in third person, but he was really with the shit at the same time.
The thing is
bragging almost.
Yeah.
The Falun Gong that he was talking about, why I want to find the rest of the video, because I was just scrolling as we were about to go live and I saw this and I said, oh, I need to talk about this with the cousins in our group chat. But Falun Gong, I believe that is the same group of individuals in China that followed a religious way of life. And there was peace, there was unity, there was moments where everyone would stop and meditate, like it was practiced all over their area. And the government stepped in and used television and used the news and ads to make them seem like they were evil and they were wicked. And these are people who live a pure life, like goals. And what happened was they made them out to be so criminalized that everyone stopped following their teachings. And they started to wrap them up and throw them into, let's call it a concentration camp. Let's call it what it is. They threw them into this concentration camp. And there have been legal sit downs, like those courts where they still wear the old school stuff. They have had these sit downs about all of the horrid things that have happened to them in these camps or hospitals or stay places, because they're really harvesting their organs. And they have proof. Chaz, you on here twice? Hold on now. I'm about to...
She looked deranged than the other one. She looked like a psycho killer.
It didn't show up right at first. I didn't like that.
Black. Everything went black, and it was I didn't know what just happened this time. When I came back in, I'm just as shocked as you, Malika. Like, hold it.
She on the camera like.
Woo. But yeah,
Okay.
they have proof of people flying from all different, very wealthy and elite people flying from all different countries to utilize these amazing, as he said, organs, because they live such a healthy lifestyle, and harvest them and have the actual surgeries there where they utilize the organs and transplant them. So I believe that when he says Falun Gong, that's why I need to go ahead and find the rest of it, because I believe that's the documentary that I watched previously about those individuals in China.
This is just alleged proof that Squid Games is accurate, because if you haven't watched it, you understand that he just showed you, he's told you the truth, and we've seen it in a TV show. It was orchestrated in that game, in that way. So this is just literally a map of how Squid Games should be coming and playing out. That's the first thing that came to my head, and while I'm listening and thinking of it, because he's explaining, he's breaking it down what they do. He's breaking down how they go about it. Many people came from several areas in the world and flew there for that organ harvesting. This is crazy, for real. But it's all there. The proof is there.
Also, I'm trying to look it up so I can know his name, but I don't know if it's the director or somebody who played in the movie or the show or whatever, and also had to do with creating it. Recently got arrested for sexual.
Oh yeah,
sexual shit.
I saw that.
I don't know what his name is because I didn't watch Squid Game, so I don't know his name. But he did play in the movie, and he was a part of the making the show. So
He was sex trafficking.
He was really just like what his character was, basically.
Yes.
Right.
Okay, makes sense. That's why he played it so good. Makes sense.
We talking about the old man, right?
Yeah.
Sicko, basically, because he was sick in the show with all them billionaires and high powered people. They were sick.
Also, to throw a fun one out there, Young Thug, he was in trial and they started playing porn in the background.
Yes,
gay porn in the background. I don't have the video to play it, but
listen, his face was priceless. He was like, "Is that me?" You know, that was the face he had. Like, "Is that me?" Like,
Ragged?
"Oh, I'm gonna come." Like, wait, what?
Yeah. I'm gonna come.
His face was like, "What's?" And they threw his shit out after that. That's all the fuck I know.
Literally. That's all I know.
Strategy worked, huh? Oh. Yeah, that was insane. Like, how does that even happen in the court proceeding? Who?
Well, you know,
it doesn't, Carbon. It doesn't happen.
Thought you couldn't have
Right, exactly. Like, okay.
I'm literally baffled.
What a fool. All right. What a fool. Oh man. There was something else I wanted to talk to y'all about.
Listen, real quick, while we still
What's that?
talking about the whole thing. Listen, we don't know who it was, but it got thrown out. So was it the judge and the prosecutor? Like, who the fuck was it? It was somebody. That shit don't happen. Or we gonna tell what the fuck? Oh, we just gonna go on and throw this out. It doesn't happen, people.
No,
that was somebody on that motherfucker.
and I believe you because it had to be that way.
What about all these? Look, same arena, but what about all these details with the Tory and Megan trial and this person then shot this person and it's coming out that Tory shot?
Can we just
have y'all heard of all this craziness?
I have heard,
now
and
the friend was with Tory first, and
Yes.
Megan was cheating secretly. But I have to believe what the fuck Papa and them said. And Papa said it's some other shit. So, but
I agree.
come on, let's talk about it, y'all.
I feel like this is anything to come at Meg because she has been trying every other way to get out of this record deal and record label. She has tried to backdoor it in any kind of way, but I feel this is to put her down because Tory already looked like he was coming out like he knew he won when he came out with his kid, like the best father ever on his back. I'm the best dad ever. We're gonna, this is not gonna be what it is. I'm not that kind of person. You haven't seen anything of Meg. Like you've heard things on her stance, but you haven't seen any like publicity towards her, like anything on her. I've looked and I have not seen anything on her stance. All you hear is we can't find that bodyguard. This is on Meg's. This is absurd. And now it's her at fault. When we all know what the fuck that really is, you done offed him to make this look even better for Tory. And that's where we're at stage one again while he's out here. He's played his little game with August. He did his little dues. He made his way. I done humiliated myself and made myself look the way I needed to. This is going to play how it needs to play. And that, they always want to come at a Melanite woman's height or stature. And that's how black bitch, she gonna have to just go on down. Cause I'm coming back, bitch. You thought you won this shit? I'm gonna show you I'm back on it. I'm gonna make an album off of your asshole. And she hasn't said anything because she knows what it is.
Somebody's writing the scripts for these motherfuckers, though.
Someone is, and she knows that this is not right. None of this is accurate. But he is going about his little time that he paid for and humiliation ritual that he did to get this back to where he needs to get right back on his He plateaued. He's right back up to stature.
Because after everything happened with him and August, now August then came out with a whole lover. You understand me? But we had already talked about this long time ago. Let me pull New York out. Long time ago.
No, because the media said that's his brother. Just so you know.
And listen, I know a lot of brother cousins be fucking. Listen, because I done been sister brother before. You hear me? I done been sister brother before. Motherfucker told me that was their brother and they was fucking the whole time. You understand me? So I done been sister brother before. But allegedly Will was pissed because he could not pull upon that thing. So
he wanted a opponent that couldn't get it. Opponent.
He wanted to part of it. Let me mute.
He said he wanted to get jiggy. What?
Jiggy in it, with it, up it, around it.
Yeah, want to get jiggy.
Well, the only part of the trial that I did not just swipe on when I saw it pop up on my timeline was the hairdresser. The one that was with Meg during the events. He was with them throughout the whole day. And according to the press release situation they put on there, they were saying that it was the most entertaining, but they believe him the most. I'm sorry, I don't know how he would prefer to refer to himself. But what this witness said was that they asked if there was something that was very turbulent that happened that day. And the witness said, absolutely. Meg's wig kept slipping off. That was the testimony.
And he was serious.
So serious. The wig kept slipping off. And at whatever point that they had tried to slip it back on and it kept slipping off, they realized there was no other way around this. It was time to go. And that's when
it's a tragedy.
That's my favorite part.
Whole movie. This ain't a whole little comedy scheme going on around here. That's what this is. That's exactly what this little whole shenanigan is from start to finish. That's what this is.
Okay, but I'm just gonna throw in that Meg was a star or featured in She-Hulk, which is a comedy about law and
yes, she was.
So
I see where you're going with that, Charmin.
Well, explain it for us laymen, because I didn't see She-Hulk. None of that. What y'all talking about?
Well, She-Hulk, I mean, I kind of watch She-Hulk. I'm not really that into Marvel, but She-Hulk was a lawyer for superheroes, and yada 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 yada. At the end, she becomes a lawyer for Meg, I believe, and Meg and her. It's literally a fucking one of those clips, like you know how Marvel does like the after scenes, and it's like 3 minutes after the credits that rolled by, and you're sitting there like, okay, something better play. And I'm pretty sure it was one of those where they're like signing something and they're just like, they literally just start like twerking. And everybody's like, what the fuck is going on? And yeah, but
that's exactly what happened.
But I do think it's interesting that she was in this, like nobody accidentally put her in a show about court and law on accident months before or a year or whatever before she is in court.
Right. That makes sense. I feel you. I think I smell what you're stepping in.
Do you?
And She-Hulk is supposed to be like a melanated. Yeah, she's supposed to be a melanated woman. She-Hulk is because she's green. She's a melanated woman that was winning every case. Meg was with her in that process, so she was supposed to win her case because that's how it's supposed to fall through. Like Charming is saying, it is the reason why everything is supposed to play out the way it was. She was supposed to win her case because she is the melanated woman that was going to prove that she's going to win at the end of this. But something along all of this just went a little array.
And then y'all, there was an alleged neighbor that saw everything. Saw, did y'all hear about it? He said Tory got out, he had the gun and yada yada yada. I'm just like
crazy.
He got out and had the gun, but that ain't her story. She said he was standing at the window looking over the window, and we all know he's 3 foot tall.
He can't look over.
Exactly.
There's a line going on, and I like Meg, but Meg is a lion, and she's lying. There's
believe
lies
it.
told here to make each other look bad. She is lying too.
Nigga stood on his tippy toes
I
until the
absolutely
window. Like,
You know what I mean?
It's some clips at that party that they don't want out, and I think that's the most that they're trying to cover up.
It was the
It's like,
pussy eating. You understand what I'm
yeah,
saying?
it sure was. And she
Muff
does it
diving.
well.
Can I
Muff
say something
diving.
really quick to the committee? Gary, my baby brother, I'm sorry. I had laughed when Governess made that joke and I tapped twice on your comment and it deleted it. I did not mean to do that. I was being nosy in the committee and laughing at the same time. Gary, that's my baby brother anyway, so I know he know. Okay, sorry.
Gary. I don't know. I haven't. Anywho. Y'all, but yeah, no, that whole situation, it just gets messier, and it's entertainment shit at this point.
Saying that Tory was dealing with the best friend first, but nobody knew that Meg was. See, everybody fucking knew Meg was dealing with him. Like, when did that become the secret? Like, what are we talking about? Why is there so many lies going around?
It makes no sense. When it's like y'all all fuck each other, so what's the big deal?
You think they was a contract couple? Like they was contracted to be together?
There was this video of her in the pool and him behind her, and there was somebody else in the pool. I cannot remember. And he was doing something, and she was basically like, stop fucking playing. She looked like she was so irritated that she was with him, that she was talking to him. Like, she did not like this nigga. He must have just gave her some good head or something. I don't know. She did not like this man. You could tell she didn't like this man. There was purpose behind this shit.
Yeah. Well, it's from my experience. Most tall women don't like short men. I have a best friend that's like 6'1", 6'4" with heels on 6'5". You know what I'm saying? And yeah, she don't really think. I mean, she'll fuck with a short dude, but that's not her go-to.
I'm 5'5.5", and I don't like short men like that.
Right. You feel me? So it's like, okay.
I ain't got nothing against them, but I just, I don't know. It's just not, I don't know.
It's not your go-to. It is what it is. Like me, I like a motherfucker that look like they need a sandwich. That's just my preference. You know what I'm saying? They look like they've been hungry for a while. I like that. That's what I like. Just what it is, Anywho, we hitting that 2-hour mark. Man, y'all, this was actually a really good show. Mm-hmm. Which I think y'all have fun. I have fun. Yeah,
have fun.
And anyway,
y'all come back in a minute. We're gonna go ahead and kick off some of these list readings so I can get some of these done. If you were on my list, come on back to the A Walk with the Ancestors, Miss Dean channel. We're gonna get some list readings done. I still can't find my list, so if you're on your damn list or not.
Yeah, y'all come on in this governance, and we'll see you in a little bit. We love you. Hope y'all have a good time next week. You know what I'm saying? We'll see you until next week,
y'all. Peace.